Hey, how's it going today, everybody? It is Captain Energy here, and today we're taking a look at the Yamaha CS1x, one of my favorite retro keyboards from the 90s. Back in 1996, I bought this unit brand new, and I've had it since. I recently had one of my subscribers contact me regarding that they had just purchased one, and were looking to ask questions about how to select your sounds on this unit. So I just figured I'd do a video here to show you how to select the different sounds and different types of sounds on this device. Just so you know, whether you have a CS1X or not, you may want to stick around, because one thing that I plan to do with this unit is sample the heck out of it and turn it into a bank for the Akai Force and the MPC, as well as have samples available for the sample track, the Novation Circuit Rhythm, and any other sampler that you may want to use them with. Some of these will be made available free, some of them will be for sale. So if you are interested in any of that, let me know, and I will be happy to let you know when they're available. Also, I'll be doing a demonstration of the sounds that I pulled off of this unit. Most likely they'll also be available as a combinator in Reason, so that you'll be able to do even more with them if you have Reason. So let's get into this. So here we are, taking a look at the CS1X. As you can see, the interface is very simple. On top there is some menu diviness to this unit, but it's not that bad. Most of everything you'd want to know is right up here, and we have some numbers over here to select your patch by number, and then over here we have a few other settings. First, if we wanted to select a patch from this unit, if it's a performance patch, what you would do is hit performance. Okay, so we're right now in performance mode. If you wanted to select a multi-timbral instrument, hit multi, and that will get you in the multi-timbral mode. Multi-timbral is basically like your XG sounds or general MIDI settings. That's basically, all right, that's basically your multi mode. On the performance mode, we have all of the synth type sounds, the stuff that made this synth really stand out. All right, so once we're in performance mode, there are two banks to performance mode. There is a user bank and a preset bank. The preset bank is the factory bank of sounds. The user bank are the ones you can edit. So there's 128 of each of these. To select them, we go over here to on the left hand side, and you'll see this plus and minus, and above it you'll see one that says preset and user. So if I hit preset, we're in the preset bank. I'm gonna turn that arpeggiator off. And if I go to user, we're in the user bank. This is where you'd have patches that you could modify, or that it does have 128 preset sounds already, but if you want to create your own sounds, this is where you would keep them. Now you would have to keep track of where they are, but you know, that's another story for another day. To get around the patch bank, you can use these plus and minuses right here, jump around and pick your sound. I'm gonna turn this arpeggiator off. All right. The arpeggiator, by the way, is this yellow button. A lot of these sounds, you'll go to them and you'll get this because the arpeggiator is on. And sometimes that's cool, and sometimes you're just trying to hear, you know, the sound, and not some crazy arpeggiator. So you can turn that on and off. If you look at over here on the controls, you'll see that some of the selections have a inversed print. So it'll say like hold, for example, and octave. Well, those indicate that you can activate those options by pressing shift. So if I press shift and then plus, that'll bring me up 2 octaves down. That's where I started out. Here's a -1 octave. All right. And also with the arpeggiator, normally you have to hold the key down, but if you press shift arpeggiator, then it locks, no hands, ta-da, and it will keep playing. See? Anyway, if you want to edit these sounds, there are some built-in top level things you can edit about all the sounds. So this sound right here, if I go to the left, you'll notice that you can't see this on my screen because I'm kind of a little... Here you can see cutoff, resonance, attack, and release, and then there are these 2 assignable knobs. Cutoff Here's resonance. Now we have release. Attack. And then these two are assignable per sound, so you never know what they're going to do until you play with them, basically. I believe they have that in the documentation, what each sound has them set to. We also have the modulation wheel, which in some cases is just modulation, but it can be assigned also to do different things. And then on the left, there's these above the modulation wheel, you'll see these two buttons. These two buttons are scene buttons. So you can have scene 1, scene 2, same sound, right? I didn't change anything. And now if I press them both, the modulation wheel will morph between them. Let's go to a different sound, see if we can hear something a little different. So scene 2 is very, you got the cutoff pretty low. Scene 1 is very bright. So if I go between the two, now we get this. And that's basically how you pick your sounds on this device. There's also pitch wheel. Of course, we know what that does. Who hasn't played with a pitch wheel? If you want to modify these sounds further, which you can, I'm going to go over here. Be sure we're in user. Okay, users, and then there's the preset. So I'm going to go to user, and I'm going to go to sound 1, which I think this is my least used sound. I just don't see a point to it at all. I'm sure somebody's out there going, "Are you kidding me? I use that all the time." But that somebody's not me, I can tell you that right now. It's interesting, but not something I use. Anyway, first what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the arpeggiator so that we have just a drum kit. All right. Now what we want to do is we want to look at what's in that drum kit. To do that, we take this knob, we turn it down until we're at the last level that it will click to. When you turn this, you'll notice there's an arrow. The arrow points to one of these lines. If it's pointing to the last line, then you're either, if you're in performance mode, you're at the top part here. If you are in utility mode, which is right here, then you are doing the things at the bottom. You can assign controls, you can do a bulk dump, turn off local sound. So if you're using this as a MIDI controller and a sound bank, which I've done in the past, I can take this, for example, and turn local off so that when I'm playing, I wouldn't hear this instrument. I would hear whatever was my selected instrument in my DAW. So if I had, for example, Halion plugged in and I had an FM synth and I'd hear Halion, not these drums. But then when I selected the channel that was feeding back to this unit, I would hear my CS1X again. You have your receive and transmit channels. Right now the transmit channel is set to 1 and receive channel is also 1, and that can be 1 to 16. But when your local is off, it will receive whatever channel you're pushing through to it if it's in performance mode. Velocity, you have your velocity for a fixed velocity amount. So if you have a tendency to play hard and you want your notes soft, you can turn down the velocity, have it fixed. Maybe you don't play hard enough or you want to play lightly, but you want your notes to hit hard, you can just turn that up and you'll always get 100%. This knob right here, the data 1, any of these values, I can quickly change them with that knob. If I have it on off, by the way, for velocity, that means it's actually sensing velocity and plays based on that. Keyboard which is transpose right here. So if I wanted to go to multi for a second here, if I go to keyboard transpose and we go, oops, that's velocity curve, sorry. Or I can kind of cheat and go It's not really cheating. Unless you're a classically trained pianist, then yes, it's totally cheating because you took the time to learn everything. Where most people who play music today, I don't think have taken the time to learn everything. There's also a master tune here where I can go and I can say my whole keyboard is, I want to, tune it up a little to match whatever. Maybe my band likes to play a little sharp or a little, minor, depending on their mood. Okay, but yeah, there's your master tune. Now we'll go back up here. We're going to go back to performance mode because that was utility, like I said. Now, if we go over here and right now we're on the one that I said is not very useful to me. First, what we're going to do with this is I'm going to turn this knob down to the bottom. And I'm going to go to the bank, which is the first arrow here. And you'll notice it says pre-4. That means this bank is coming from Performance Bank 4. If I click the next one, it says program, it says it's drum track 2. That means there's probably drum track 1. So if I go up and down these, you'll see that the sound changes. All right. We're going to take, all right, we'll take this sound. This is a fun one. Right now, we are on layer 1 of 4. There are 4 layers in a performance voice. This device can only have one performance voice at a time. It can have 128 available or 256 available, 128 in user and 128 presets. So 128 custom that you could make, but you can only have one active at a time. Unless using a sequencer, and even then you can still have only one performance voice, and you can have 12 individual layered voices. So basically, like the sound you're hearing right now, this is an individual note, an individual layer. I could have 12 of those if I wanted to, but no, not the same one because that would sound ridiculous. But you get the idea. The performance is what makes this thing really cool. So now what I'm going to show you is how to add a second layer to it. If we go over here to the left, you'll see where it says part layer right here above the preset and user. I'm going to change my layer right here. It says 1. I'm going to change it to 2 by pressing plus. Now we're on layer 2. You'll notice it says bank is off. If we go to the sound, nothing is there because the bank is off. So let's turn that bank on by going to the bank button right here, and we'll click up until we find a bank that has some sounds in it. These XG banks are all XG sounds. You can use them if you want. Like I could layer this piano with it if I wanted to. Yeah, pretty neat. Right now this is also set to mono, it sounds like. So we can fix that also in a minute so it's not mono, and we can play actual chords. But you can hear the piano and that kind of other sound that I had a second ago together now. If I want to, I can go over here and I can adjust the cutoff filter and the resonance of this layer to modify it so that I have either a brighter or a more subdued piano. Let's go to cutoff and we're going to adjust that real quick. All right, let's turn this on a polyphonic. There we go. That's the last one here. It says mono poly. Oh, I think layer 1 might be mono. Let's go back to layer 1 for a second. Yep, layer 1 is mono. You can have the layers be individually monophonic or polyphonic. So let's go over here and fix that. There we go. Now we should have... So next, let's add a third layer to this. So we'll go up to the arrow again. We're going to go to layer 3. And now we're just going to hit the on, turn this on. I want to go for another performance voice. Now, these performance voices, these are the really cool voices in my opinion. They're the ones that make this synthesizer what it is. The thing you might want to do is, you'll notice there's a lot of high notes here. So I'm going to go up to this third one down. We're going to see note shift and detune. I'm going to go to note shift, and we're just going to... All right, there's that. Let's get the next layer, layer 2. Bring that to 12. right. Now we'll go back to the bottom here. I'm going to go to the cutoff filters because I feel like we can carve some of this out. We don't really want all of that in there. Layer 2. Okay, let's do cut off here. Sound pretty good. I don't think we need any more layers to it, but what I think we do need is just a little bit of delay maybe. So I'm going to go to the top here, and we're going to go to Vari Effects parameters. Let's see what we got for right now. Actually, we'll go to Vari Effect type effect right here and right here. So we're going to at the very top, like I said, Vari type. We change this. There we go. Echo. All right, let's change this. Turn the wet up a little bit here. There we go. All right, so now say I am happy with this sound. All I need to do now is save it. So if I hit store, it'll say, where do you want to store it? So I am going to save it in Performance 1. And now we're going to press enter. It says, are you sure? Enter again, and now it's stored. Now I can change to the next sound. If I go back, one thing we didn't do, which we probably should have done, if I go to the top, click this to the top menu again, and you go to the right here, you'll see performance name. This the arrow keys will let you move from character to character, and you can change the type because it's all different. There are different types up here. I'm going to call this a lead, so it's an LD, and then I'm going to move over to the next character, and we're just going to go. We'll call this. Turn this knob to change the letter, and come on. All right, next. Call it cap. This is just one of the reasons I do miss the good old CS1x edit Florian Bombers wrote back in the day. It was probably one of the best editors I've ever seen for anything. And unfortunately, the editor, it's free now. You can get it for free still, but the problem is you need like Windows 95 to use it. And nobody has that. So it's pretty much useless. All right, so we're going to hit store now. And we're going to press enter. I'm sure I want to save it. And now it's saved with my name. So now when I go back to it, all right. Now, the other things I didn't go over, but are important here, are the other settings here. You'll notice there's all these different areas where you can point to. If you look at this here, though, you can see that there's like AEG. This is the amplification envelope generator. Okay, so we're going to attack, decay, sustain, release for the amplification. you've got a filter attack decay sustain release. These are per layer. All these ones down here, the bottom 4 are per layer. The top 2 are common. So if I wanted to change, for example, how the filter cutoff worked with my modulation cutoff area, or change this effect here, or change my portamento stuff, any of that is like that's across the entire sound. So like if I wanted to, we can go in here and do something real quick with this. We can go to we will change, you can split keys across. So like for example, maybe a bass key for the first 2 octaves, a bass note that's 1 or 2 layers deep for the first 2 octaves, and then you could do something here, and then you could do the last 2 octaves with something else. There's all kinds of crazy things you can do here. Let's go over to LFO, and we're going to go to we're back to caps app, and we're going to go to LFO. We're going to go to this right here. Can you hear that? That's pitch. First one's amplification, modulate amplification. So if we just do a little on that, and maybe we'll not do pitch, because. But now we can go to filter. All right. We also have, we can select our wave right here. So if we go over here, we have a few different waves to pick from. Saw. You can hear that one really going in there. Triangle. Sample and hold. We also have LM, which I don't know what that stands for off the top of my head. I can't remember. It might be element. It might be something else. I can't remember what it stands for. All right. And then we can adjust the speed right here. So if we get the triangle, we can go. You have negative and positive numbers, so you can actually set it so that one sound is a positive envelope, and maybe I want to go for another layer and tell that one to be a negative. And we'll give this one all right. We also have our, like I said, we have the typical envelope stuff right here. I can go over here and tell it I want this to release longer. I can change the attack. All right, let's go up to the top here. We're going to pitch bend. I can tell it right now. Pitch bend range is 16, so that's a lot of. That's a lot. Maybe I want to take that down to like 3. That's usually a pretty nice number, I feel like. Okay. We can go over here. We're right on the right. We can change portamento. We can add a little bit of that if we want to. Turn the portamento on, and then add a value right here. And this value will determine that's pretty crazy, isn't it? Alright, we have envelope generator for frequency and pitch down here, which I'm not going to mess with those. We don't need any of that, I feel like. We can go over here and we can assign parameter 1 and parameter 2, which parameter 1 is here, parameter 2 is below it. But I can go, parameter 1 will do portamento time. Now if we go back out here, let's store this sound, store it, and I'm just going to put this on another bank because I don't want to erase the first one. So I'm going to 2 and I'm just going to press enter. It says, "Are you sure?" Yep, I'm sure. Let's put it on there. It's not. Isn't that awesome? And that's pretty much how it works as far as making a sound, editing a sound, saving a sound, and all the basic. That's the general overview of the entire synth for the most part. If you have any questions about this, hit me up. I'm happy to help. If you like this sound we just came up with here together, let me know. I'll make these patches available. I hope that was helpful. Let me know what you thought of the video. If you have any questions, hit me up. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Have an awesome day. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Bye for now.